Whether you want to believe this or not, you are actively posting on social media, which means you are actively creating your personal brand. Okay. I love the conversation around personal brand so much. It's like one of my favorite things. And I think it's also one of those things, even according to Alex Hormozy, according to Gary Vee, the people who are leading and dominating this industry, personal brand is massively important right now. So that's what we're going to talk about today because that is fun to talk about. And I feel like I love that personal brand is dominating because that is the most fun thing ever to create. So if you're like a person who is creating a lot of content, which I know you are because that's why you're listening to my show, if you think to yourself, like, I'm not creating a personal brand, like I'm just doing my business, I'm just posting to post, like I don't need a personal brand, I'm telling you that even if you think you're not creating a personal brand, you are. Like you undoubtedly are. So it's important to know what you're putting out there. Personal brand would be like another synonym would just be like your reputation. Okay. You are creating that right now with every single post. And most women that are in the mentorship, coaching, thought leadership space, wanting to build a business using their social media, most of these women I have witnessed are completely sabotaging their personal brands and they do not even realize it. It's tragic. It's very sad. And the reason for that is because all of their content is like billboard. It's like a walking advertisement. It's giving, I want your money, basically. Even when these women think that they're disguising it and they're like, oh, I'm telling stories, I'm blah, 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 I'm doing this. Even when they think they're adding value and like, oh, I'm educating. Even when they think they're being strategic with it, we feel sold to. We feel sold to. And I say this all the time. I'm going to say it again. No one wants to feel sold to. Not a single person. People love to buy. So don't get it twisted. People love to buy, but they don't want to feel sold to. So when you are walking around creating content that is very much advertisement-y, like salesy, and you don't even realize it, the perception that you're giving, the perception that we are making about you is that you are simply a transactional human being. You are a taker. You are not a giver. And the thing about being a taker is that no one wants to be in a world of someone who's just a taker. No one wants to hire you and no one is going to trust you. And that's awful. So today we're going to talk about like what personal branding actually is. And it's not going to be like the, when we talk, like I think a lot of people hear the word brand and they think, okay, I need to do my website. I need to have colors. I need to have an icon. What's it called? Not an icon, a logo. Geez, there it is. They think that that is branding. Sometimes it is, but we're talking about personal branding. So it's none of that. And the version of you, I want to talk about this today, the version of you that creates a business that people are obsessed with is going to require a very strong personal brand. Versus right now, you're kind of building this business where you have to like beg people to buy from you. So let me just paint a picture of what I see every single day because I study content every single day in my clients and just when I'm scrolling. It's just something that I do. It's what I do for my job. When I land on a woman's profile and I know that she's a coach, she's a mentor, she's a facilitator of transformation. Okay. She changes people, or she's a thought leader, a speaker, whatever she is. At least that's what her bio says. Okay. Let's say I don't even know this person and I start scrolling through her content and post 1 says, here's the 3 ways that I scaled my business to 100K months. All right. Post 2 says, if you're struggling with X, here's what you need to know. Post 3 says, my program is open. Link is in the bio or send me a DM. Post 4 would say something like, here's the exact framework that I used with client Sally. And then let's say post 5 is like, this is your last chance to join before the doors close. Okay. And even sometimes it's like, I feel like that's very like obvious. Sometimes it's like a little less obvious where it's like I don't know, you can just tell, like the feeling. And then you scroll through these posts and I feel nothing from these people. Actually, okay, that's not true. I feel something and I feel yuck. I feel gross. I feel ick. I feel like this woman is desperate to make sales. And even worse, she's way too lazy to show me who she really is. And she thinks that she's not worthy enough to make sales based on who she actually is. So she's coming up with these words that she thinks is going to help her sell, which then makes me doubt her leadership. So if I were to actually join her world, I don't believe that she would be a good leader just based on this content alone in her actual containers, her actual cohorts. Because if she can't be bothered to show up fully in her free content, why would I ever trust her to show up when I fully pay her? I would never buy from someone who makes me feel this way, by the way. Like, you need to take this into consideration, because here's what kills me. Like, I can't even do it. I don't think most women even know that they're doing this. Like, I've literally witnessed women who are actively doing this say out loud, content comes very easy to me. And I'm like, what? What do you think content is? Because whatever you're doing, it's not coming easy to you. And this is not me. I mean, this is my craft. This is what I'm very passionate about. I'm not hating on these women, but I feel like this is treacherous. We need to help these people. So what happens is, these brilliant women where I'm like, dude, you have so much more to you than what you're putting in your content. These women have intuitive, creative content ideas that weigh on them. And these ideas come from maybe something that's going on in their life, or maybe some conversation that they had with their clients, or I don't know, maybe something totally off brand. And they like have this idea and they're like, that would be a cool piece of content. And these ideas feel heavy because they constantly think to themselves, I don't know how to tie this into my business or whatever. So then they dismiss these ideas and they end up creating content that they know for a fact is boring as hell, because it's not what they actually want to say. It's not what they actually want to create and post. And then they post it anyway, because at least this makes sense. At least it aligns with my offer. At least it might bring someone in. Or like, I joined this one program once and I created an authority post and I got one client, so I'm going to try it again. And meanwhile, their ideal client that they would love to work with is scrolling right past them, feeling nothing. Because you cannot build a brand on content that makes people feel nothing. So when we talk about what personal branding actually is, okay, I feel like there's a huge missing piece for most women when it comes to personal branding. And that is like the deliberate pairing of being a human being and being a leader. So in other words, you would pair your leadership, okay, your whatever that is that you do in your world. This is another reason why in the Evolution Content Membership, which is my favorite thing that I've ever built. Actually, the takeover is also my favorite thing. Okay, I digress. In the Evolution Content Membership, I am very firm on, in order to create content that is directly tied to your business, you have to know what you actually do in your business. Like, what do you actually do to facilitate change? And if you don't know what that impact is, we need to start there. Like, what is your formula? What is your philosophy? What is your methodology? And we're going to pair that. We're not going to talk about it verbatim. Like, I'm not going to literally create a post that says, in phase 1, you're going to do this. But okay, so let's say I have a phase 1. I'm going to pull out the problems or the solutions that would happen in phase 1 that would be life-changing. And then I'm going to create content to support that phase 1 of whatever program it is that I want to talk about. Okay. And I'm going to tell stories around that. So that's a deliberate pairing of your business, your mission, your methods, and then your leadership, your presence, like who you are as a human being, your whatever you stand for, your core values. So think about, like, this is also, okay, I feel like this is going to be a spicy episode, but I get very frustrated when people hate in this industry. People hate on influencers. Like, don't be an influencer. You don't want to be an influencer. And I'm like, why? Like, I literally am looking at I just bought a lamp. It's on my desk. It's so freaking cute. And I bought it from TikTok shop from an influencer that I like. I trust her. And I'm like, I like her. She likes the same things that I like. I'm going to buy this from her TikTok shop. And literally I spent money that she's going to get paid on because of that. And so Also, when we talk about influencers, like, I'm sorry, but the quicker that you realize that you are an influencer, the stronger your personal brand is going to be. You are influencing people, are you not? Like, you are here to be influential. So maybe you're not selling products and you're not doing brand deals, but you're basically an influencer for your freaking business, okay? So whether you realize it or not, you're creating pairings every single time that you post. Every single time. And if every single post is this advertisement, you're basically pairing yourself with the feeling of desperation. So when I say pairings, I mean again, let's say we take a problem from your phase 1 of your signature formula, and then you want to tell a story that would support that problem. If you're not doing it in that way where it's like a personal story, or you're just like doing it in a really surface level way, you're literally taking your business, your program with phase 1, and you're pairing it with desperation, neediness. Like, I will do anything to get you to buy from me is the vibe. So if every single post is generic and vague and very blah and boring, just like everyone else, with nothing special here, like, don't look over here, it's not very special. If every post is like that, and then you're questioning why people aren't buying straight from your content, or why people aren't even liking your content, like, it's not likable. Let's just put it out there. It's not likable. Let's go on the flip side and let's say, okay, you got fed up with your content isn't likable. So you have witnessed Susie over there. She gets a lot of likes on her content because she's real spicy. Like, she's giving like opinionated, like feisty, doesn't give a flying F about what people think. So I'm going to try to be like her. So then you start to create defensive rants or like hot takes, which would be designed to rage bait people or get them riled up in the comments. Now you are pairing your business with drama, with chaos, with this is not a safe space over here. Whether or not people agree with you, that is literally what you're doing. So the truth is that people do not buy from brands that they wouldn't feel safe with or aligned with. They're going to buy from a brand, from a person, from a leader that makes them feel seen and understood and led. And that is not me saying go be a nice girl. I also, gosh, so many contrarian beliefs in this episode. Sorry, not sorry. But there's this like thing going around right now where women in our industry are saying like, you're giving nice girl, and that's why people aren't buying from you. Like, you need to be a bitch. I've literally seen like 2 people post that, and I'm like, what are we doing? Why do we have to go from one end of the spectrum? Like, you're either fake nice or you're a bitch. Like, women, you guys, we have way more to us than that. Like, you don't have to be one of those. You can be, a normal human being that has opinions and doesn't have to be bitchy about it. Okay. So anyway, goodness gracious, there's so much healing that needs to happen in this industry. It's wild, but also what a beautiful space to be in, because it's like so easy right now to stand out. In my opinion, you can just be yourself and you could stand out. I really, truly believe that. So if people are buying from brands that make them feel seen and understood and led, they buy from brands from people that would make them think to themselves, like, I really want to be in her world. Like, I trust her. I feel safe here. Like, she's going to challenge me, and I'm going to feel like I'm on the right team. That is the pairing that you're actually going for, not the follow me and I'll teach you how to make money, or follow me and I'll teach you how to lose weight. Follow me and I'll teach you whatever it is that you teach. But follow me, you'll feel safe. You'll feel elevated. You'll feel like you're exactly where you're meant to be. You will feel motivated, inspired. You will feel like you could actually have a possibility of reaching your next level. Where most women get this wrong is they think that creating content is all about pairing the message or whatever the post is with their audience's interests or problems. Like, my audience wants to know how to scale, so I'm going to post about where they're going wrong with scaling. My audience wants to know how to lose weight, so I'm going to post about how to lose weight. And okay, that at its core, that is not wrong, but it's incomplete. It's like the bare minimum, because you actually do not know your audience's interests before you've ever posted about your own, period. You do not know what your audience is interested in until you've started posting about your own interests. You don't just get to, this is not, someone might tell you, like, go into your stories and create polls and see what they want from you. Like, see what your audience wants from you. Ask them. Dude, no one's voting on those polls, okay? No one is going to tell you their interests because you put some polls up. You might get like 3 people to do that. The way that you're really going to know what people are interested in when it comes to you is when you let your own interests, your own values, your own lived experiences be what the audience becomes addicted to. Ultimately, they are interested in those things. They are interested in you. So when you pair your content, your brand, with your pure embodiment, okay, meaning your core values, what do you stand for? What do you believe in? How do you live your life? The way you show up as a leader, that's when people are going to not be able to look away from you. And that's not a post where you're like, oh, here's how I lead people. No, you have to like tell me a story, like prove it. Your content will become uncopyable, unmissable when you do these things. When I talk about being a giver versus a taker in your content, I want to kind of like break this down. So recently, I created a post about a very specific story from my life. And this story happened a couple years ago. So it wasn't like a recent story, but it was a turning point moment in my life. I almost got fired from my 9 to 5. Okay. And I turned this situation, like in real life, I turned the situation into a massive comeback. And that's why I still to this day, years later, see it as a turning point, a breakthrough. And I could have taken this story about me almost getting fired as like story bait. Okay. And I could have said something like, want to know how I almost got fired and then turned it into a 6-figure business, join my program. But I don't do that. So instead of that, I told the story, the parts of the story very specifically that I knew would fire me up as a woman. Okay. I got fired up writing this. And if I'm getting fired up writing this, I knew it would fire up my audience. And what I mean by firing up my audience is I knew that it was going to hold up a mirror in front of the ideal person that I want to work with and let them know where they're not digging deep enough in their mindset, their hustle, their perspective, their comeback game. And to me, that's being a giver. I also recently created a post that actually ended up bringing in over 40 new followers, which is wild, from one post. And in this post, I dissected exactly what to include in a talking head reel to capture attention. Exactly what to include. So I talked about the where to place the hook, where to place your body in the camera. Like I got very specific with it. I did not hold back. I didn't speak to it vaguely. I gave away like proven tips for free because I know that when I show up as a giver, I will be seen as a giver, a supporter, a leader. And my ideal client is going to want more of that. She gets more of that when she hires me. This is very simple. It's so simple, you guys. My ideal client, the person who maybe, let's say she hasn't hired me yet, what she sees in my content is what she gets 10 times more when she works with me. Could you say the same? Could you say the same about your content? Now, not every single post am I giving away tips and tricks. All right, there's a strategy to this. That strategy is taught inside of the Evolution Content membership in case you wanted to join that. If I'm going to be harsh, and I feel like I've been harsh this entire episode, so I'm just going to let it rip. If your entire feed is like work with me disguised as value, work with me, hire me when, your content is trash, and you are sabotaging any opportunity for your ideal client to find you. Sorry. I mean, I'm telling you this because I believe in you, and you are risking relationships with the people that you truly want to serve. You are allowing yourself to risk the ability to build on these relationships with the impact that you actually want to create. You are risking your ideal clients going and hiring someone else because you haven't cracked the code on how to speak to these things with a level of depth and leadership that they need to see in your content. And you're being lazy about it. You're refusing to do what it actually takes to improve your content. You're just out here looking for answers outside of yourself. Well, she might have the content strategy, or she might know how to create hooks, or she might know like how I should say this and say that. It's not that hard. So let me give you another example just to make this make sense. Every single Friday, I audit one piece of post per every person inside of the Takeover Mastermind, which is my signature mastermind space. And whenever I do audits, they have to submit their intention along with the post. Okay. So they have to tell me what their intention is for that particular post. And when she submitted this, her intention was that she wanted to invite people into her masterclass. Okay. And right there, I knew what to expect. Okay. She made a mistake, and she's really good at content. So it was just one of those moments. That's why she's in my world, so that she can learn how to do this. And that's okay. But when I ask what the intention is for a singular post, the intention is never what you get in return. Remember, let's go back to being a giver and a taker. So if I pulled up your profile, let's say, and I went to your most recent post and I asked you what the intention was, what would you say? And I'm going to tell you, the intention is what you want the audience to gain from you. What do you want the audience to gain from you? If you created every single post with that in mind, I want someone to walk away with this. I want someone to walk away thinking that. I want someone to walk away feeling this. Your content, that's all you need right there. So anyway, I started auditing her post. And I could tell, at first she was kind of all over the place. And this is a new style of content for her, what she was submitting. So I was very happy that she actually submitted this, because that's what we do. Practice makes perfect. So as I was auditing this, I wasn't sure what her actual story was. And then I wasn't sure what problem she was solving. This was what I call a gap and remedy post. And she told me that. So she wanted to mention a problem, and then she wanted to provide a solution. But I wasn't sure what the one problem and the one solution was. And I also was not sure what she wanted me to walk away with as her ideal scroller, let's say. And then at the end of the post, she pitched her masterclass, and it was giving, all I want is for you to join this thing of mine. I just want you to come in. Not, I am going to serve you here so that I can serve you more later. And that's the biggest difference. The cost of being a taker all the time in your content is that you will, first and foremost, you're going to consistently feel like you're quieting your voice. And it might not even consciously come up as oh, I'm quieting my voice, but you feel like you are. You feel like you cannot speak clearly enough. You cannot translate what you actually want to say, and you cannot translate your power or your passion. And you will start to feel oh my gosh, I don't know what to post. And your ideas will feel heavy. They will weigh on you. And then again, what you put out is going to feel boring to you, because it's not what you actually want to say. And it's a watered down version of you that is not building the brand that you dream of. And then you're always going to wonder what you're missing. So I can guarantee you'll go buy some content programs, the ones that promise you that you're going to make a ton of money, but nothing in those content programs is telling you how to start a conversation or how to take a situation from your real life and turn it into conversion. Imagine that. Imagine telling a story about your life and it brings in a client, because this client is oh my gosh, I read this and you're the next coach for me. That happened to me yesterday, by the way. Told a story about my life and I got a DM that said, I'm going to hire you. Period. The answer is never go get a fancy hook or just follow the framework. That's never the answer. You're smarter than that. You will constantly think there's a strategy you're missing if you don't fix this right now. And eventually, this is what hurts me the most, is you're going to eventually think that you're just not good at content. Or worse, you will start to believe that it cannot be as simple as creating content and getting clients from content alone. And then you'll give up. I've seen this happen. It sucks. it does take work. Like, it's not easy. Like, I don't know who made you think that it's easy. It's not easy. So if you're listening to this and you're like realizing like, oh crap, my entire brand, my entire content page, my entire profile is an advertisement. And you want to know like, what's the first thing that I need to do? Like, what's the first shift that I need to make? Okay, this is what I'm going to give it to you. Well, first and foremost, you need to hire me, obviously, duh. But second, if you want to walk away and do something immediately, I would challenge you to go create a piece of content that has nothing to do with your business at all. Nothing, not a single thing. And you're not allowed to use ChatGPT, by the way. No ChatGPT. Goodness gracious, I can tell so quickly. Please, for the love of the Lord, don't do it. And then when you go and create this post, I want you to ask yourself, what did I come up with? What part of my personality did I choose to shine through in this post? And this is not where you are going to create content 99% of the time, to be honest. But this is what sparks the rest of the strategy. This is what's going to change the rest of your content when you have the ability to loosen the grip a little bit on always trying to make a sale from your content. All right. So the power of content, the power of converting from your content, even better, is going to be in the way that you think, in the way that you see the world, in the way that you articulate your viewpoints, in a way that would support the right people in a positive conversation, a conversation that progresses people forward. I will never help you create defensive content. Let me just put that out there. I will never help you go viral and everyone goes off in the comments about like some negative topic. I hate that. It like is actually triggering to me. What I will do is I will help you create content that initiates a conversation, that plants a seed in someone's mind, that so much so that when they close their phone, they walk away, you're still lingering in their brain. Like positive impact, positive conversations that lead to leadership. So that then you have these mature conversations that ultimately make people feel safe in your world. And then you bring in mature people. And when you bring in mature people, those are the best type of people, by the way. They just want your leadership. They want your coaching. They're going to do the work. They're not going to cause a ton of problems for you. And this all starts in your content. And that's why people want to buy from you, because you are that leader. Feeling safe in your world is the key. And thought-provoking content that leads to that feeling of like, oh man, I would be supported in her world. That's the thing. They feel like they can trust you. They feel like they know you're secure in who you are and how you lead. And that makes people want to be led by you. Okay, so personal branding is extremely important. I just gave you a whole rundown on how you can get started on that right now. It's the deliberate pairing of basically who you are with what people feel when they would join your world. And if all of your content right now is a billboard and you're trying to sell with everything you do, just know that you're pairing yourself with desperation, with neediness, and with I'm just trying to get a sale. And that's why no one is buying from your content. That's why no one is liking and engaging in your content. So the shift here is show up as a giver. What would that look like for you? What would it look like for you to create content that would allow people to feel seen and elevated, safe, and then obsessed with your brand, your business, your offers, where people like cannot wait to work with you? That's like legacy at its finest. Okay, I'm so excited to see what you create. If you are listening to this and you end up creating a post where you're like, okay, I did it. I created this post and it has nothing to do with my business. Please DM it to me so I can go be the first to gas you up, like it, and just cheer for you. So I love you so much. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.